This is tonight's 9 at 9. Here at home.
A teenager is dead, shot and killed during a dispute over a stolen backpack.
The trial for the first of 3 teens charged with this murder now underway.
19-year-old David Samora is charged with murder in the death of 18-year-old Raymond Silva.
At least one of the co-defendants in this case has a plea agreement pending. The deal would require that he testify for the state against Sabora.
In Japan, rescue crew members continuing to search for missing people after a typhoon caused serious damage in central and northern Japan. At least 35 people are dead. People who live in the affected areas are being warned that there is still a danger of mudslides. 3 months after a hit-and-run driver killed a San Antonio woman, her family asking the person responsible to turn themselves in.
Just give up and just come forward and say I did it or whatever, instead of hiding.
Carolina Villanueva was hit and killed by someone driving a white sedan back in July.
The person who's responsible for this case faces a charge of failure to stop and render aid.
A Stonewall Jackson statue in Charlottesville, Virginia, vandalized once again. 2 figures on the Confederate general statue had their noses removed, and a piece of paper reading 1619 was found taped over a nearby sign. 1619 is the year the first slave ship arrived in Virginia. A woman known as a serial stowaway arrested at O'Hare International Airport in Chicago. Marilyn Hartman was found trying to pass through security without a boarding pass or identification. Now, this isn't the first time something like this has happened. Among other incidents, Hartman was sentenced to probation earlier this year after pleading guilty to sneaking past Chicago airport security, boarding a plane, and flying to London without a ticket.
Her public defender says she's homeless and has for a long time struggled with mental health issues.
A massive fire forces an entire Kentucky town to shelter in place. The 5-alarm fire started in a storage building at an agricultural business in Hardinsburg. More than 300 tons of fertilizer burning in that building. Houston police say this attack at a convenience store all started over a cough. 2 women were sitting next to each other at the slots when one of them began coughing. The other one started yelling, and that situation escalated. The second woman ends up grabbing the first woman's hair and yanking her to the ground. Police are still searching for her tonight. Luxury automaker Porsche has unveiled a cheaper version of its electric car. The new Taycan 4S is not as powerful as the other versions, but will cost you less. The company says the 4S has about a $103,000 starting price. Porsche's other 2 electric cars cost more than $150,000 apiece. People living in an assisted living facility near Houston have collected this mound of candy. To get ready for Halloween, they use social media to ask for candy donations so they would have enough to hand out to every child in the neighborhood. To read more about these 9 stories, go to ksat.com/news at 9.